do I look? How do I feel? Looking good and feeling tired. I may be drinking coffee, but we're gonna be spilling some tea today, sis. Today we're gonna be talking about H&M suing Shein for stealing their designs. Let's get started, shall we? I know. If you're thinking what I'm thinking, the girls are fighting. The girls are fighting! The drama in the fashion industry is always things like this, because copyright infringements are probably the most polarizing things that a designer or a brand can do. Straight up stealing from another designer, it's a huge problem, especially amongst fast fashion brands that are constantly knocking off smaller designers or even like runway designers, recreating knockoffs of their stuff. And actually, this is a problem I talked about recently in my Shein fast fashion video. If you want to go look at that, the link will be down below. I want to talk about specifically what's happening here, because it was recently posted to Diet Prada. That's who I follow, that I get a lot of my fashion news on. In the lawsuit, the Swedish fast fashion giant pointed to the sheer scale and unauthorized substantial reproduction of the copyrighted works. And it's kind of hysterical because they put the Spider-Man meme right after it. It's just H&M and Shein meeting in court, just the calls coming from inside the house. It's the pot calling the kettle black. The lawsuit was first initiated in 2021 according to this post, and regarding items featuring a unicorn design created by H&M's in-house design team in Stockholm. The suit points to the striking resemblance between the products, showing they must have been copied, and the sheer scale of Shein's unauthorized substantial reproduction of copyrighted works. When did H&M start caring about copyrights? When H&M had been knocking off designers for ages. And speaking of, I was actually looking through the internet trying to find some instances where H&M was called out for copying people. Leave it to Diet Prada. H&M's new Conscious line called out for ripping off rising knitwear designer Chet Lo. If you don't know, Chet Lo is an amazing designer. If you haven't seen their knits, it's essentially those spiky knits, and they've really taken the world by storm with these. If you ever even seen those bunny backpacks that are spiky, that's also Chet Lo. Or the spiky little purses, again, Chet Lo. I also hope I'm pronouncing your name correctly, Chet Lo. I don't want to be disrespectful. But who is Chet Lo? Chet Lo is a London-based Asian American knitwear designer, and they launched their brand back in 2020. They have become so synonymous with this spiky knit, which I think is a thing that existed all the way back in the 2000s, but it was done in this like plasticky, papery material that felt cheap and disgusting, and they reinvented it and reimagined it in like a more luxe material. More luxe material. I think that's what it is. It's very futuristic. It's very unique. I'm pretty sure that they are from Central St. Martin's. They graduated from there. They've done some great work. So if you remember in the Kiss Me More music video with Doja Cat and SZA, they actually were wearing it when they were like, you know, giant goddesses. They had these spiked nude tops on, and they were those were Chet Lo. And Chet Lo did respond back then when it was really in the heat of this conversation. They posted a statement to their story. It might have been their Instagram page actually, but I don't think I can find it. It was quite a while ago. But I do have it here in this post. I'll put it up here so you can see it as it's going through. It's really sad to see something from a young, up-and-coming, queer person of color designer. Their body of work. This is their point of view. This is what they want to see in the world. And for it to be taken away and cheapened, it's extremely disrespectful. Immediately point out the two knitwear looks that were called knockoffs. It was this long sleeve open back knit spiky dress that is extremely reminiscent of Chet Lo's aesthetic because of that knitwear. And then there was also a zip-up cardigan, I believe, that again is in that spiky knitwear. It also leads me to believe that I think H&M's knit version of this isn't as stretchy, because when I see a lot of Chet Lo's looks and everything, there's not a lot of, there really isn't any closures on anything. I'm pretty sure it's just because his knitwear is designed to stretch and expand at a higher rate than the H&M's version of it. And I do want to look at the prices of these pieces, because this cropped cardigan, I was right, it's a cardigan, is 40 euros, 39.99 euros, and the knitted dress is also 39.99 euros. So let's compare those prices with the Chet Lo price site, which if you haven't gone on Chet Lo's website, there is some incredibly cool stuff. There's bags that I know I really want. There's obviously the knitwear stuff. But for example, we have a spiky knit cardigan here that is pretty close to what the H&M version is. And this one is 225 euros. Compare that to the 40 euros. Wow, what is the quality there? Who's making this? Who's being made to make this? Even the bunny bags that they make are 675 euros. It's quite expensive, really. I want to see some of the dresses. There is the durian slash gown. I love that he calls them durians because durians are that spiky texture. And I do see durians when I think this, and it's actually really, really cool. This is 282 euros. So the complete change in price. I'm curious how they went ahead and did this and what that material feels like. I kind of wish I could have gotten my hands on both types of pieces. Looking at them, I completely agree that Chet Lo was completely ripped off, knocked off. And I don't know if H&M actually sold many of these or if they still have them. I don't think they have them anymore. This happened a few years ago, so I highly doubt that. This isn't the first time H&M has been accused of stealing. Once upon a time, artists painted "You look nice today" with a heart on a wall. And then H&M created I believe it was a doormat. I think, yeah, it was on doormats, towels, and pillows. The artist emailed H&M customer service and they immediately denied everything. So we have many cases of where this has happened. And I also believe H&M has in the past deleted comments on things being accused of being plagiarized, and that never looks good. At least have a conversation with your community and the people that are buying your garments. The thing that always gets lost when this happens is authenticity, design, originality, creativity, innovation gets robbed from the people who are at the forefront of it. And it makes us younger designers feel like, well, to hell with whatever fun idea or unique take we have. You're just gonna steal it and make millions off of it, and it doesn't make sense. How about you collaborate with us? How about you work with us to create something amazing? H&M did that with Mugler recently, so why couldn't they in the past have done it with Chet Lo? Maybe Chet Lo didn't want to, and if Chet Lo didn't want to, then you back off. Especially with a designer who is so known for a core aesthetic, a core material. You're gonna get called out. You're gonna be made to look like idiots because everyone is gonna associate that idea with this designer. That's sort of why every designer, I encourage every designer to, if they want to create something, figure out a way to make it authentically you and original. Otherwise, you will be replicated, you will be knocked off, and people may or may not believe you because it could be, oh, that's been being done forever. You didn't start it first. But if you become known and associated with an aesthetic, it technically does become yours. I do believe this spiky knit is very Chet Lo. And I think if anyone buys it from anywhere else that isn't Chet Lo, sweetie, you're just buying the cheap knockoffs. Another case where H&M was being caught ripped off is they ripped off Gosha, Ruchinsky, and Vetmans. This was back in 2017. So, you know, fast fashion always steals from it. Yeah, they basically ripped off a Russian designer. There was an unauthorized use of their core aesthetics in some of their clothing back in 2017. Yeah, and immediately, so looking at the first few pictures, there's I think 8 pictures. These are from H&M's website. And the ones at the bottom that we'll take a look at right now are from the designers that they're being allegedly plagiarized. And looking at them, yeah, it kind of makes sense. They basically just took a generic word and done it in their style. And I hate that. I don't like that. I don't love that. I wonder how the design staff at H&M, how they go about their design process, you know? Are they being told to rip things off? And is that why they are, you know, being hit with all this heat and have to deal with it from there? Or are they willingly doing so? I feel like fast fashion brands live off the sort of trickle-down effect, but not in the way that we were taught it in school. They live off of the trickle-down effect on styles and aesthetics, right? So like if they see a t-shirt is doing really well, their immediate thought is, how do we replicate that t-shirt as best as we can without getting in trouble? And how about you create something new? You know, and I know it's easier said than done, especially for fast fashion, that their whole flow is to just make money and to push things out ASAP. I don't think it will ever be a good practice. You will continuously risk yourself getting caught stealing. And once you're caught stealing, people lose trust in you. Whether you're a person or a brand. That's just how it is. And you know, Shein kind of deserves this. There's a part of me that hopes they like knock each other out. I do like H&M. I think H&M should stick to most of their basics. If they just kept like creating quality basics that had some design elements here and there, You know, I think they would lose that title of being a bad fast fashion brand. Whereas like Uniqlo that always does its own thing and has pretty quality basics, you know, H&M could be that. H&M could be Uniqlo, but unfortunately it just isn't. Not every brand is Uniqlo. And you know, Shein has stolen over and over and over in the past. Shein is one of the biggest proprietors to stealing from young designers. There's even this Canadian textile artist that created this dragon hat that Shein immediately ripped off. And the thing about that is that hat is crocheted. So some poor person in those factories is crocheting together that hat one by one by one by one so they can sell these. And it is crazy. What sucks is as designers, it feels like we can't put anything out on the internet, show our artwork, show our creativity without the risk of it being stolen. And for most of us, we have to just be okay with that. But when it happens, of course we're gonna get angry. Of course we're gonna become enraged. You're literally taking our artwork. That's our work. At least pay us some money, dude. I know you got the money, girl. Buy things from us. Collaborate with us. Let us make some money with you. The unfortunate reality and end of this conversation is fashion is kind of like an Ouroboros. It will always be eating itself up because fashion is meant to be repetitive. It's meant to move in these styles of what's in right now can completely die the next day. We've sort of created a system that will never be pleasing to us because brands will always try to find the next best thing and try to replicate the next best thing. And that can hurt a lot of designers. So with that, it's been real. It's been fun. This might be a bit of a shorter video, but I really wanted to talk about this and bring the attention to this conversation because the girls are fighting, and if they end up taking each other out, then so be it. That's 2 less fast fashion brands we got to worry about copying our stuff. That's all I'm saying. I hope you had a wonderful day. I hope you like, comment, and subscribe. Let me know if these kind of videos are fun. I like making videos talking about the drama in the fashion world because the drama in the fashion world feels a little like petty. It just always kind of does. I think that's, you know, the sort of the name of the game in fashion. It's a he shed, she shed. Wait, I said that weird. Well, I'm gonna go. All the designers that I talked about in this video will be down below. I hope you support them and encourage them to continue what they're doing. And just because fast fashion brands are replicating them doesn't mean we should buy that cheap version of it. Lord knows I might need to start taking my business elsewhere because I don't like H&M's behavior recently. Although I did like that Mugler collection. I'll buy it secondhand. Bye!